The morning sky above Lucin International Airport was still cloaked in dull gray as a sleek black town car pulled to a quiet stop outside Terminal 4. A breath of chilled air swept against the windshield, carrying with it a whisper of tension, as if the day itself knew it would be unlike the others. The back door opened with a faint click, and out stepped Malcolm Rhodes. Tall, broad-shouldered, his movements bore no urgency, only intent. He wore a worn black hoodie with the hood drawn up, designer jeans that fit like they were tailored, and white leather sneakers so pristine they looked sculpted. What looked casual to some was calculated to him. It wasn't rebellion. It was identity. The wind tugged lightly at the hem of his hoodie as he adjusted a slim black duffel bag on his shoulder. Around him, the airport began to stir. Flight crews moving briskly, travelers lining up at drop-offs, the dull beep of utility carts moving in the background. But nobody turned to look twice at Malcolm. That was the way he preferred it. He wasn't the type of man whose face graced magazine covers. But he didn't need fame. His presence alone commanded weight. Malcolm Rhodes was the CEO and founder of Rhodium Group, a private, global firm valued at $12.4 billion. From defense contracts to renewable infrastructure, his company's reach spanned continents. Today, he was flying to Zurich to finalize the most important deal of his Lithia global AI energy optimization system that could reshape how entire cities operated. He checked his watch. 7:16 a.m. Right on schedule. Inside, the terminal gleamed with morning polish. Steel beams stretching skyward, floors so glossy they mirrored footsteps, and a faint aroma of roasted espresso wafting from a nearby cafe. Malcolm bypassed the standard security lanes and veered left toward a restricted hallway known only to the elite, the Platinum Passage. He pulled from his pocket a platinum-coated security access card, the kind you didn't get with miles or money. It was encrypted, embedded with today's clearance, and recognized in every international security system on record. As he approached the gate, a young security officer stepped forward. Tall, lean, close-crop hire textbook, new hire. His name tag read, Ethan Wallace. "Sir," Ethan said firmly, standing squarely in front of the scanner. "This entrance is reserved for platinum security clearance holders." Malcolm held up his card. "I know." Ethan glanced at the card but didn't scan it. His eyes drifted up and down Malcolm's attire. "Dress code is strictly enforced, sir. No hoodies allowed." Malcolm blinked slowly. The hum of activity behind him carried on, suitcases rolling, people murmuring, baristas calling orders. But here in this moment, everything slowed. Ethan kept his posture straight. Neutral face. Practice lines. But Malcolm had spent his entire career studying people. He didn't see professionalism. He saw dismissal. A performance. The same one he'd seen 100 times before from men who believed appearance defined authority. "You didn't scan my card," Malcolm said evenly. Ethan shook his head. "Dress code." Behind Malcolm, murmurs began. A couple shuffled aside, whispering. Someone pulled out their phone. Malcolm stepped back calmly. His expression didn't shift. He didn't argue, but he saw the smirk that flickered across Ethan's lips. That slight upturn that said, "Got you." He turned without another word and walked away, pulling out his phone. "Dana," he said quietly as his executive assistant picked up, "I want to know who holds controlling interest in this airport security contractor." 5 minutes. He found a bench near a window and opened his laptop. Within minutes, the data came flowing. The contractor was a private firm named AeroCore Solutions. It was owned by an investment umbrella called Virex Holdings. And Virex, he knew that name. 3 years ago, Virex had attempted to acquire one of Rhodium Group's data arms under the guise of a strategic partnership. When Malcolm declined, Virex resorted to corporate sabotage, hiring away senior staff, spreading disinformation, even planning malware. He'd countered quietly, legally. Until now. His phone buzzed again. "Ownership details," Dana said. "I traced Virex through 3 shells. Final holder is an entity called Westhall Equity. Majority owned by Declan Troy." Malcolm's eyes narrowed. Declan Troy. The same man who'd sat across from him in Geneva and condescended to his face while offering a buyout at a third of market value. Pull every Virex shareholder under liquidity pressure. Offer buyouts under our shell company, Arcline Partners. Silent deals. Start now. Already moving, Dana replied. Malcolm moved quickly. He fired off emails to his legal team. Request audits, initiate compliance reviews, identify weak links. One by one, the gears began turning. Within 2 hours, Arcline had secured 39% of AeroCore's shares through backdoor acquisitions. By midday, the number rose to 47%. Then came the breakthrough. Dana called again. Malcolm, we have a breach. One of the security logs from AeroCore lists your name flagged for surveillance. It was submitted by an employee named Ethan Wallace. Manual referral. Sent to Declan Troy's internal address. Malcolm felt his jaw tense. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a message. And now it was war. By 4 p.m., Arcline Partners crossed the 51% ownership threshold. A controlling interest. Malcolm filed an emergency motion with the Oversight Board to freeze all AeroCore executive bonuses pending internal audit. Then came the HR review. Ethan Wallace was pulled from his post that evening. Suspended pending investigation. The older guard nearby, the one who had watched but said nothing, quietly reassigned. Malcolm didn't stop there. The next morning, a press release appeared on every terminal screen at Lucent International Airport. Effective immediately, all security operations at Lucent International will be overseen by Gravitas Solutions, a division of Rhodium Group. No one had seen it coming. Employees looked up in confusion. Travelers glanced at signs. Brent sat at home, stunned, watching the story unfold. The man he dismissed in a hoodie was now his boss. That afternoon, Malcolm stood before the airport board of governors. Security isn't about uniforms or appearance, he said, dressed now in a sleek black blazer. It's about trust, respect, intelligence. What I experienced yesterday wasn't a lapse in protocol. It was a failure in values. He offered a pilot program, biometric screening, AI-driven profiling audits, unconscious bias training. It was approved in less than an hour. By sundown, Gravitas Solutions controlled all high-clearance airport security across 3 major cities. The ripple had begun. Malcolm sat quietly aboard his private jet later that evening, hoodie back on, watching the city lights fade beneath him. They had tried to deny him entry. He hadn't pushed back. He had simply bought the system and rebuilt it in his image.